Good call.
Oh,
Good call.
I'm on top of it today. Even though we started at like 6 o'clock.
Oh my God, the setup today, we just couldn't do it.
Just for the record, I just want to know we had a big storm. We live in Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big storm, and I just want to say how amazing the storm went by. We had electricity, and the second it was over at 9 o'clock at night, I've lost electricity, and I still don't have it back after the storm has already gone by.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Love that for you.
So I thought, so I think our setup has been crazy because of that, because things aren't plugged in or charged or.
Mm-hmm. Now I was just like, we'll start early. We'll start setting up early.
Yeah.
It still took us longer than normal.
I know, it was so bad. It was so bad today. So this is our Halloween special.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
It'll be after Halloween by the time it's posted on
I know, like
YouTube,
we're recording it before. So if everyone on the live, it'll be before Halloween.
So happy Halloween.
And the people who see it on Tuesday will be after Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Hope you have or had a great Halloween.
So this is the Halloween special.
Mm-hmm.
This is your baby. I know this is
my
ours,
baby.
but this is what you wanted.
You know, I was never a Halloween fan until like recently. Like I love Halloween.
Really? Because I remember you used to love Halloween when you were little.
Well, yeah, because I got candy, but and I was fat and still am. So I'm here for the candy.
You know,
no. But I love dressing up.
You laugh because when you kids would go out with Marin, I literally we'd get home and my daughter was amazing to me. She'd be like, "Oh, you like peanut butter cups? So one for me.
I would never.
One for you. One for me. One for you." And then all of a sudden she would say, "2 for me," and I would never even complain because I was like, the fact that she was giving up.
Right.
But she never gave me the good ones. Like if she got a proper peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Nope. She gave me like the little ones, like the ones.
Those are nasty.
I know, because wait a minute.
They're not nasty. They're just not my favorite.
Well, no. Am I crazy? And I give the question for everybody out there because maybe it's just me. The little ones don't have what I call the right amount. So, for instance,
no, absolutely not.
Or if you get the Christmas trees or.
The shapes are superior to anything.
There's too much peanut butter and then not enough chocolate.
No
They're
way.
not a peanut butter cup.
Absolutely not.
They're always bigger than a peanut
way.
butter cup. Think about that.
That's fine.
But then you get more of something. You don't get more chocolate. It never tastes right. Never tastes right to me. Now, I know somebody's going to tell me, no, that's not it. They taste better.
See, what I feel is with the little ones, and even like any of the cup ones, but mostly the little ones, I feel like there's...
So Shannon, love of my life, just dropped out. Nope, you're just crazy.
Well, we all know that's true. But the little ones, I feel like they have like crunchy peanut butter in there. Like I feel like there's more... No, I think we've had this discussion.
Is the worst thing that they ever got rid of was the crunchy.
Do you like the ones with the like Reese?
No.
Do you say Reese's or Reese's?
I don't give a flying as long as it goes in my stomach. I call
them Reese's. I guess I'm wrong.
I'll call them a brick of turd as if they taste that good. I don't care. I'm a fatty. Like it's that good. I'll never forget the day someone told me they were like McDonald's. McDonald's make patties out of rats. This is the best rat I've ever eaten in my life, and kept eating it because I don't care. As if it tastes that good, I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like hot dogs.
Ian's here. Hi, Ian.
Hey, Ian.
But anyways, what I was saying is I don't like crunchy peanut butter because if I wanted a handful of nuts, I would have had a handful of nuts. And I know you're going there, but I want peanut butter. It should be butter. Do you ever get butter? And there's chunks in there? If there is, you need to throw it away.
Well, yeah. But my peanut butter is always chunky. I love chunky peanut butter.
No.
I
get out of here.
Yes.
Time to leave. Sorry.
Are you ready for this?
Podcast is being shut down.
Okay? This is how crazy I am. Because this is the way I was brought up. Chunky peanut butter, Jif. Has to be Jif for some reason. I've tried others, and I'm not saying they're bad. I'm a Jif guy.
I'm a Skippy guy.
And yeah, no skipping. No skipping for me. And raspberry. It's not jelly. It's called preservative.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh, and it has to have the seeds. If it doesn't have the seeds, I feel like it misses something. Because someone brought me jam, like raspberry jam, and I cried for like 3 days. Like I just sat there like a fetal position. Yeah. And and Doritos. There you go. I am a happy little boy.
What kind of Doritos?
Oh, plain, because that's all they had in my day.
Plain?
Yeah, like regular Cool Doritos. Like no, like Cool Ranch. The regular nacho. You do know at one time it used to be plain tortilla chips and then the nacho flavor was the special flavor.
Oh, well.
Now everyone's like, no one even knows plain Doritos, like with nothing on it. That's how old I am. I know. Here we go. You give me
Isn't
that
just
look
isn't that just a tortilla chip? I guess it's a corn chip.
It's a corn chip. Yeah, that's what it used to be. Doritos used to be a corn chip, and then Dorito nacho flavor used to be.
Well, that's the best thing they've ever done then.
Like, I remember my dad getting mad at me because I would eat Doritos and like
do they even make those anymore?
Like, no, they don't make the plain ones, or they did for a little bit, and they didn't sell, so they got rid of them.
Yeah, because that's freaking nasty.
And so, Jesse, why are you starting already? Yes, Ian says, why are you starting? And he also says, you're so nutty. And I think she's talking about me. But years ago, I would leave it open and then it'd go bad. And I remember my dad yelling at me, like, we don't pay extra for the nachos. Because if you're just going to waste them, then just get regular Doritos. Mm. That's how old I am. So I remember those stupid. It used to be a yellow bag, too. Not even like the red bag that we all know.
Really?
Yeah. You got to look that up.
But Sammy was allergic to strawberries. So, like, it was either strawberry or grape.
Let's not even talk about that. Do you remember that Halloween?
No.
The Halloween I invited you guys over to hang out with Niles J and Marin. And you guys ripped out the pumpkin. And you guys gutted a pumpkin. Had a great time. Yeah. I ordered a pizza because you guys are like, yay, pizza. Sammy's turning all red. And you? Oh, don't worry about it. She's allergic to tomatoes and tomato sauce. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you telling me now? Kids are, like,
because we still ate it.
Yeah, and
kids she didn't tell us it like hurt or anything, so we were just like, and I was like, I just don't eat too much of it.
Your parents are gonna kill me, and you're like, nope, you're fine.
Give her some Benadryl, she'll be fine. She'll knock out in about 2 hours.
Your parents like, oh, fine, she's allergic to strawberries. Yeah, a little bit tomato, she's fine. I'm like, almost killed your kid. It's you now, you're fine.
Apparently, like it burns now. Like I asked her about it. I'm like, it's just you could get red, right? And she's like, no, it kind of like burns. It's like a little tingly. I'm like, oh, why do you eat that?
She still eats pizzas?
Yeah.
I can't.
Like,
sorry, Sammy. Sorry that I'm throwing you under the bus.
But anyways, back to my story. I like smooth peanut butter with the grape. Okay. And that's the only grape I'll eat. Besides, unless it's like real grape, but like grape flavor.
Jam. You're talking about like real jam.
Well, it can be Smuckers or whatever.
Yeah, jam. That's what it is. But it's jam. Yeah. It's like not.
I don't want chunks in anything. No, thank you. I don't like it chunky.
I hear you. I don't know. Okay, real quick. Candy corn. Love it or hate it?
Get the hell out of here with that.
I can eat 10.
I don't like candy though.
I can have 10 and I'm good. Like it's just like the.
It just tastes like eating wax.
No, it has a little flavor, but I can eat 10.
Wax.
I can eat 10. No, have you actually... You're not of that generation who actually eat wax. Because I remember going to the store and they used to have like wax lips that people would give to you and you would have to chew it. That was wax. That was like no tasting. Or that little... Yeah. You both got too excited over that. You're going to say the soda, aren't you? The soda with the little gel that you would like pop open to try to... Just because no one would want to eat the wax, right? That's what I'm talking about. Yucky wax.
Why did we do that? Why was that a thing?
Because that's all that we had. That's all we had. Now, candy corn, 5 and I'm good. I could never buy a whole bag or it's for 10 years. Like, peanuts, circus peanuts. You remember those? Those like orange ones? Yeah.
Kelsey loves those.
So those are stuff that I put in my packages to send out stuff because that's all they're good for. They're basically
pretty much.
Oh, no. You know what I hated as a kid? Those stupid dots on the paper.
Oh, get out of here.
Because you got more paper than you did candy. And you would eat it and you go...
But even like the dots in the box, like get out of here with those. Oh. Those are Ashley's favorite.
Oh, Shannon loves circus peanuts. Oh, no.
Go eat the packages, he says. The whole thing's edible.
Even the box. What's the box?
It's the wax. It's the wax. Even saving the candy.
Yeah, you've been biting it. That's kind of day we're having. We're laughing way too hard. Oh, I remember, but you don't remember the wax lips though, because they had no flavor.
No, I do remember.
Oh, those are nasty.
Yeah,
those are way too nasty. Oh, those are so gross. So what? Okay, so we're talking about this. What is your favorite then?
Reese's
peanut butter cup,
or Crunch, or just Hershey's. That's it. That's
Crunch, Nestle's Crunch. Yeah.
Or the Twizzlers.
You're getting way too excited.
You know the Twizzlers, right? The cherry ones that you peel.
Mm-mm.
You don't like them, or you don't know about them?
I don't like any Twizzlers. They're too waxy for me. They don't have enough flavor. I'm a big flavor guy. Like I can't.
I like them.
I like plain water.
I grew up on those though.
Like I like plain water or flavored water. I don't like that. Oh, it has cucumber like hint. I'm like, a hint of what? Like I can taste it and I don't want it. Like it's not strong enough.
It tastes dirty.
Yeah. Or okay, just speaking of this, because now we're going down this road. I really get peeved out when people drink like juice and then they fill it up with water and they don't rinse it out and they're like, I'm like, dude, you can still taste the juice. Yeah, but it's like water juice. It's like a hint of it. I'm like, no, I gotta wash that out completely.
I put lemon and cucumbers in my water.
No, I can't do that either. No. Like it has to be like Milo. It has to be something that makes it taste legit.
Yeah. Kelsey doesn't found out about Mio. And she's like obsessed about it. Oh yeah.
Until the day you put too much, and then it's like your face is like that stuff is horrible when you put too much. Like you think like
you need like a little.
Yeah, it's like a squirt or two, and then you're like, oh, then that's strong, and then all of a sudden you have like, that one day, and you'll be like, I bet you 3 would be good, and then you'll be like, your eye is in the back of your head, and your teeth aren't right anymore. Like it's horrible. But all right.
What's your favorite game?
Oh, wait. I got this one. Okay, so Ian says, remember candy necklaces?
Yes.
Yes, I loved them until like you're chewing them and then it slips and it in you in the neck because I don't know about you. I was a fat kid. Like, I'm a fat kid. So
and it's like all like slobbery on your neck. Like, no, get out of here.
What are you doing? You're supposed to bite it, not suck it. I knew kids are and then it was like, then as soon as like it was like this big sloppy yuckiness on there, I'm like, what are you doing? You're biting. And it's done. No, but I always had that one when it bites and then it slings back and then it slaps you. And then I was like, yeah, I'm all done with that. As a little kid, I'm like, no. Your neck would be multicolored, Ian, yes.
Why are we eating jewelry? That's my thing.
Okay, so you're not into the pop then, the ring pop?
No.
Yeah, see, I couldn't handle the ring pop. Because my
why
fingers
are you doing
fat.
that? That too.
And
I'm
then
too
it was
fat
like,
for that.
It was like right here or like right here on my pinky. And then you were like... And then once you were done, you were like, but you weren't done with it. Like you were done because it would be, unfortunately, they make those quality. I don't want to talk bad about them, but they were made for you to suck for like 6 days. And as a little kid, you had like 5 minutes of attention span. And then you'd be like, I don't want this. And then you walk around like, mom. And of course your parents like, what'd you do with the wrapper? You're like, I threw it away. They're like, well, I don't know what to do with this now. And then they throw it away, and you're like, I wasn't done with that. And like, yeah, you were.
That's why baby bottle pops were like the best thing because they had a cover.
Pimping with the pinky ring. Yes, I was pimping with the pinky ring. That's what the flip over or the other pop that like screwed. What is that? Push pop that you push down. What other candies did you like? Oh, I used to hate the Tootsie Rolls. Like, but then they came out with the flavored one, and I got all excited.
The pina colada.
Oh no! Now you're pushing. I don't do coconut.
Well, I don't do it either. But that was good. What was the other one?
No, I liked cherry, and I liked. Why are you looking at vanilla? Because I'm old. Those are the
vanilla.
Oh, now you know.
Cherry. It's like cough syrup. Get out of here.
Cough syrup. Oh no, sweet. Remember Sweet Tarts when they came out with the really big ones?
Ew.
They were horrible because when you take a bite out of them, your whole gum would be like, whoo, because you get that sour. Like it was like so sweet. It would go, and it was like, oh, it hurt. No, am I the only one or are you laughing because it happened to you?
No, I don't eat
You don't eat those? Have you ever eaten? What's wrong with you? I don't know. Maybe I'm a real fatty. I've tried everything in the basket at least once. Except that one person that gave you the pretzels. You're like, what, am I going to have a beer? What the hell is this? I don't want the pretzels. Like,
I brought them to school the next day. Oh, my God. Who invented a popcorn ball? Why are we eating that?
I don't know. I like popcorn.
Yeah, but in school, you're taking that and you're like, you know?
What's a click, click? What's a click, click?
Anyways.
No, so Halloween, I used to love...
If you're giving out fruit, get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
You're the worst house ever.
The apple.
Yeah.
The one guy that's like, oh, I don't... No, I've had the toothbrush, too, when I was little. Someone gave out toothbrushes.
That's the worst.
And I was just sitting there going...
What am I going to do with
like,
that?
Like, you're like, thank you, because your mom's right behind you and your dad. Or, like, at the end of the... They're watching you to make sure you're being polite. And they're like... and you're like, thank you. And you're walking away, and you're like, if I was older... your house be trashed right now. I didn't do that. Did you ever do that?
No.
Did you ever do the night before Halloween?
No.
I did. I thought it was the greatest moment until I went out there. Because everyone...
I think my parents would kill me
my
if I
neighborhood
did that.
would do a... and this is when I was in high school. Well, no, like freshman, 8th grade. Mm-hmm. They did Cabbage Night. That's what's called in Rhode Island. I know it's all different names, different places. But I remember...
Yo, get out of here with candy cigarettes.
Oh, no, those were the best. The only problem is I wouldn't eat them.
Chewing on
I walk
chalk.
around because they would have candy cigars, which I actually smoke real cigars now. But I would be like, oh, yeah, this is great. This is great. Until I smoked a real cigar. I'm like, oh, this is not like the candy. Can't eat this. No, because when you blew on them, you went like this. You exhale, it blow out a little fake smoke. Like candy smoke.
Wow.
Oh, no, I thought that was cool. Anyway. This is the difference between our ages because that was cool. Oh, wait.
What are we talking about?
Oh, Cabbage Night. So I thought this was the greatest thing in the world. And so the trick was we went over a friend's house that had a big yard.
Yeah.
And then we all brought and I'm not joking, 5 cheap shaving cream.
Yeah.
Like cheap stuff that you would get for back then 50 cents. You know, now it's probably $1 something, but and we would unload.
You do eggs too?
No, because we would spray ourselves. It was all ourselves. It was the match of the neighborhood. If you came out decently clean, you were the winner. So the object was to get each other as gross as you could. And then you go home, you basically get almost undressed outside in the dark. Or we landed up figuring out to use garbage bags. So we'd cut off the heads and then you would spray and of course it would just come right off. I thought that was, when we thought of that, we thought we were inventing the wheel. Because the garbage bag was beautiful because you get so covered and then it basically would come off for you.
Right.
And I thought it was great until the one year, I literally had more in my eyes than anything else. And I was like, not fun.
Is that what you do? You just throw it at each other?
Yeah, we would spray it. Well, me and my friends. Because we didn't want to trash the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because we knew...
I spent more years watching my neighbor across the street clean her house than...
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I didn't do. Because as a kid growing up in a neighborhood, I knew all their parents. I knew the neighborhood. So... why trash people that I liked?
Right.
The object was, if you hear stories about people, it's people you didn't like.
Right.
And I was blessed in my day, and me growing up, was I had a lot of people that I liked. Mm-hmm. So I never really trashed. We just joke around, trash each other, or trash the little piece of ground that everyone was like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care what you do to it. You know, because that's how parents were back then. They... as long as we were safe, we weren't walking around. It was the night before. We all the parents knew what we were doing because we were putting garbage bags, and half the time our parents were the one cutting it out. Yeah. So, because I was one of those kids, Mom, I need the garbage bag. And it's my day also too. It magically rained. It was beautiful the night before and rained on Halloween. So half the time I always laugh at those pictures where the actors dressed up and then they have a robe or a jacket because it's cold. Mm-hmm. And then when your mom makes you wear that jacket, I used to hate that. Yeah. I used to be like, Mom, I can't go out. Batman doesn't wear a jacket. Right. Joker doesn't wear a jacket. Yeah, he does. Now put this on. I'm like, but it doesn't go with my costume. And then the second my foot outside, up, not going out, walk upstairs. That's when I was old though. I felt like it rained when I was...
Yeah, when you're into it.
Really into high school where everyone was dressing up and having a good time or going to parties and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, nope. All right, so... let's go back to because I want to talk about candy a little bit more.
Okay.
So, I didn't like the Tootsie Rolls. Was there any ones that was in the middle? Kit Kats. I like Kit Kats.
See, here's the thing with Kit Kats. I love them, and then I met Kelsey, and she's like, "Oh my god, I love these. These are my favorites." So then we got one of those giant bags, and I ate them for too long, and I'm so over them. They're good every once in a while, but I can't do it anymore.
Well, I'm at that point in my life, period. I have a peanut butter cup. I can have about the first one is good. Mm-hmm. The second one is amazing. And then magically, the third one, it doesn't taste as good as the first and the second. And the fourth one, don't even think that. It's almost like, what happened? What happened to the magic?
Yeah.
It's like your taste bud gets used to it and then it doesn't taste good anymore. So I only eat 2 of something. Like candy. I'm not really a candy eater anyway.
I'm not a candy either.
There are a few things I get hooked on. I can eat My favorite is Goobers. I feel like nobody sells them anymore. Like really gives them out.
Yeah, with the dollar store.
Yeah, I know, but then no one really gives them out like they used to.
Well, they don't come in those big bags that everyone gets.
Never trick and treat as a grown up. Well, I can't always say that.
I did. I think here's the thing: would you let a teenager come? Like, do you get mad when teenagers come to your house? I know you live on a main street, but
no, I never have a problem.
Here's the thing:
because I always
kids can be doing whatever they want. Like, they can be doing bad stuff.
Right.
If they want to dress up and trick or treat,
trick or treating, I'm okay with.
As long as they're not taking the whole bowl.
And Shannon is right. Living in New England, jackets are always ruining. It always is. Shannon's absolutely right. It's just a trick. I don't have a problem with trick or treaters at all. I have a problem trick or treating with your family. Because every time I've gone trick-or-treating with your family, I love your father like a brother, and he has been a bad influence on me, which no, he's not.
When we trick-or-treat hard. we do the whole neighborhood. Oh, my gosh.
Okay. So there was a period where...
How big do you think that neighborhood is? If you did, like, the whole thing, it's like...
We did. We even crossed the road, like the main road, to go to the other side one year.
Yeah.
Like we went
to the point.
I literally lost 50 pounds walking with your father and your mother that year. That's when you were the dead horseback rider. Marin was a gnome. Yep.
We got some action outside.
And what was the other thing?
I think Sammy was a vampire.
Yeah.
Your
mom was a vampire. Your mom was.
Sammy was too.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You hit a point in your childhood where you're not a Halloween costume unless you make it dead. Like, yeah. I have a customer, oh my God, she's 5. You know what she's going to be?
I already love the fact that you're laughing.
She's going to be a dead cow.
Okay.
I'm like, oh.
So here's the trick that I feel. I feel like it's always dead. Or like now, for some reason, everything has to be slutty. Like it's slutty whatever. Yeah. Like a princess slutty. Like you're just like...
I'm not into that.
Huh?
I'm not into that.
Nah, I'm never going to. I always think like, when I see a costume, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's great. Who wants to walk around in Halloween? It's always so freaking cold. Like,
if you're in California, maybe. But
yeah, like if you're like, yeah, maybe that's it. You're right. Here. Or if you're going to a party, that's one thing. Right. Oh, by the way, just for you to know, the year that I got divorced, which was 2004 or 3. No, 3. No, I'm wrong. No, it was 3. It was 3. I unfortunately was drinking very heavily again because I had quit and I had gone back because of my divorce. I went to a bar and they decided to talk me into the girls at work that I dressed up as a stripper pole. I was pure gold. I have pictures of pure gold. I had a blow-up doll, which was dressed. She had a bikini on. And my big line of the night was, feel free to use me if you want to, because I'm a stripper pole. And just for the record, boy. I went home by myself.
I bet.
No, I did. I did. I had my whole outfit. I was painting my hair. Everything was all gold. And I thought everyone kept saying, are you gold dust? They came up and I was like, no, I'm a stripper pole. And I can't remember. Everyone was like, oh my God. And then when they look at the girl, like hanging off with like, cause I had her wrap around my neck with her legs. They're like, oh my God, that's genius. I'm like, and of course, as soon as they would 1 + 1 = 2,
right?
I would start laughing because I thought it was the funniest thing I ever did in my life. And then I was really walking around Thames Street. That's a place in Newport, and like that, I wasn't even in my 30s yet. It's in like my late 20s. I mean,
gotta do what you gotta do.
So Ian says I'm going as a slutty truck driver this year. Oh, I can't wait to see the Daisy Duke shorts on you, bro.
I would have given you some dollar bills, he says.
Yeah, I probably would have took it and bought an extra beer with it or something. An extra pint. Oh,
my God. I usually make Kelsey dress up as something Disney with me. But this year we're not doing a costume together because she didn't want to be part of it. So
that always seems to happen. There's a certain time that I feel like
whatever. She wanted to be a basketball player, so she's going to be a basketball player. We're going to be the Powerpuff Girls.
I don't know. Like, for me, I always have to... like, when I go do things like that, I always think, like, what's the craziest thing I come up with? I want to be that one. I want to be that one. I wanted that moment where I walk in and everyone's like, what the hell did you do? I was like, this is genius.
My friend has a son, and he's like, he'll be 2 in January, but she's making his costume. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a crane, like a construction crane.
Yeah. That's
It's going to be so cute.
That is. But the story with you walking around with your parents.
Oh.
So we have a baby carriage, which none of our...
It's a double stroller.
Yeah, none of us had babies at the time. They were all...
No, but my mom was babysitting.
No, but we didn't have
nobody had a baby.
No one had a baby at that time. Because Marin was old enough to walk with you guys yet. Mm-hmm. Like, she was that little gnome.
Yeah.
And she was like...
I love that costume.
I know. By the way, I found the funniest costumes to put on my daughter. Like, it was never... a cute little bear.
Right.
Like, she was a gnome with this long beard. Mm-hmm. I couldn't stop laughing at that. That was like, I'll see pictures to this day, and I'm like, I am the worst dad in the world. That is funny as heck. And
she was Rapunzel one year, right?
Huh?
Was she Rapunzel one year?
Yeah, she did. That was the year when she was old enough to say,
yeah,
no. I want this. And I said, okay. Like, as soon as she got old enough, I was putting her in stuff she wanted. She was Rapunzel.
Well, the trick-or-treating's really for the adults until that.
Yeah, until that moment. And so the first half of the double stroller was full of the kids' candies, because what they would do is they would have, I believe it was pillowcases
mm-hmm.
that got to
screw the little bags.
Well, no, even Marion had a little one, but then dump it into like the thing, and then we would put it.
They get too heavy.
Right, and then we would put it into the stroller.
Yeah.
And then the back of the second seat.
Feel free to steal this idea.
Literally was a walk-in bar. Like, your father had and your mother had everything, and we must have walked around. Like, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna walk around this neighborhood, have a 3 drinks, 4 drinks, whatever, and have a good time. Oh God, no. I have never walked away.
How did we get home?
I
think because of us.
I think you guys okay back there? And we're like, we're fine.
Did we lose them? Doesn't matter.
I think
we only found you. We were only together to dump our candy.
Yes, that was it. We never saw you guys. And I kept saying to your mom, where are the kids? They're fine now. As I see them. Okay, good. And then we were good until you.
How did you get home?
I don't know how I functioned. Like,
oh my God.
The only thing I'm going to tell you is, thank God I had a drinking problem years ago, because I don't know how I would have walked around that neighborhood. Because when your father pulled out the multicolored tequila shots, because he had like, this is Silver Niles. Let's taste this one. And I'm like, I wanted to say to your dad, I don't even taste them anymore. Like, what do these taste like? How are you tasting them? They're in the back of my throat going right down.
Right.
And I honestly, I think what kept me sober was it was cold, and we were walking the
entire
Boston Marathon, because I literally felt like we went out at 5 o'clock and we got home at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was
we got home late, and
we always stopped at the hall to get.
Oh yeah, we had to stop at the hall,
get the hot chocolate.
That was our bathroom break. What are you talking about? Yeah. We had that plan that we must have walked by in the hall 3 times so we could do bathroom breaks.
But they always had hot chocolate, and the kids wanted to go get the hot chocolate.
The kids, it's you, right?
Right.
The kids.
Yeah, the fatty right here.
She's like, I have a friend outside. Can I get a double? I can't. As Jesse comes out double fisting, boom, boom, and I'm like, I'm with your girlfriend.
I actually didn't like the hot chocolate because it was hot.
Oh, it's too hot?
Yeah.
I found I went there, it was like pure water.
I can't do it. I hate hot pepper.
I hate that too. I do that same thing.
You know how many mugs I have? Because people are like, oh, she needs a mug. It's Disney. She needs it. They're collecting dust right now because I don't drink anything hot.
I know.
I'm about to start drinking cold shit.
Are you really that type too? I'm a cold person all year round.
Yeah, I can't.
Everything has to be iced coffee.
If it's a little hot, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gotta. I'm gonna go put it outside for a minute.
Do you know what? I actually want to hear something I know no one's gonna care about, but most babies you give hot formula to, a warm formula.
Yeah.
Since I've been born, I've always had cold formula.
Really?
I can't. When they gave me a warm bottle, it would get me sick. And a nurse back when dinosaurs roam said, try cold. And everyone was freaked out. And my mom said, he's never eaten so much and never was happier. So she would take it right out of the refrigerator and put it right in my mouth. And I used to chug that like it was like going out of style.
That's good.
But to this day, we have horrible fights over that because my family will make a dinner. I gotta wait at least 10 minutes before I can eat.
Right.
Because
gotta cool down.
Everyone's like, oh, gotta eat it when nice and hot. I'm like, nope, it is nuclear.
I'm a hairdresser. Everything's cold.
It's nuclear. Like I can't.
No,
there's
it's
stuff that
usually
I'm
cold.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I need it. Those were my like that one Halloween. I mean, we had other Halloweens with your parents, but
That's
was
most
it like?
memorable.
Was it 4 years? We had like a 4-year span where you guys were still in middle school, Marin was still in elementary, and then when you guys got to a certain age, and everybody like we all grow up, and then it just we didn't click like we did back then. It was always another time. Like everything else, it's almost like high school. Like you have 4 good years of everyone you love and everyone you know, and then it's done, and then you go live another life, like going to the bars or whatever you're going to do right after high school, like you know,
Right.
like for a lifestyle, and then everyone gets married, and then it's another 4 years. It's weird how it's just it's like that. Like I still know your dad, but I'm definitely not as close as I used to be. Not because
Of anything.
just your life just changes,
Yeah.
you know, like everything else, you know. I still see him though. I don't want to act like I
Yeah.
don't talk to him, but it's not like we
Who's
used
your
to.
dad?
What's his name? Do I know you?
I keep saying that we're friends, but I don't think we are.
Oh, and Ian's kids, my kids only drink ice cold stuff too. Yeah, I've never been into hot. Like don't get me wrong, I like it warm. I do like warm stuff. It doesn't have to be ice cold, but it has
Yeah,
to
I
be
guess.
room temperature. How's that? I'm a room temperature guy.
Yeah.
Like I can drink juice that's room temperature.
But I can also take something right out of the fridge and eat it like that.
Right, me too. Oh, I can eat anything cold, like cold.
Yeah.
Anything that I had for dinner the next day in the refrigerator.
10 times better.
Not even in the microwave. That goes like sit
Right.
down and they're like, oh, how can you eat that cold? I'm like, this is my jam.
Right.
Shh, quiet.
How can you eat that hot?
Yeah, I know. But Halloween, I don't know, for Halloween for me, I think those were the best moments. I think that's the part we forget is when we are kids, and then our kids have, like when we have kids kind of thing. It's like those 4 years, 5 years of magic that we have, and then it becomes, because I got to a point where in the beginning, the very first Halloween I had my little one was actually was both of them was not my son was Robin. I remember what we dressed. I think Marin. I remember what Marin dressed up as because she's done so many funny ones. I think she went one year as Spider, like it was Spider-Man, which was Niles Jay's costume, but we say it was Spider-Girl, and she was so into it because he wore it type of thing.
Wasn't she a ladybug at one point?
Yeah, she went as a ladybug. Because Bugs came, the bug life, right? Isn't that the
Bugs
Disney?
Life.
Bugs Life came out, and I said I want to make it the ladybug.
Cold pizza all the way. Sometimes I buy pizza just to put it in the fridge.
No, I've done
Next
that.
day.
It always has to be the worst pizza.
Oh yeah.
Or sometimes
Pizza Hut
if
stuffed
it's
crust.
really no, I mean the worst be like the greasy kind.
Oh,
like
yeah,
those
yeah.
are the ones you leave out on the table, and the next day you just eat it right off.
Oh,
the
no,
table.
I
You
put
don't
it in
the
the fridge.
refrigerator. No, sometimes it's just room temperature is fine. It's still cold. I mean, your house is, unless your house is like 75, you're not. It's still cold.
It's still cooking.
It's still cooking. What are the other? I don't know. Like, I'm sure everyone has a story about Halloween because Halloween's like I feel like we have the best moments, and then we also can have the worst moments in Halloween. Most of my best memories is with walking around with your family and laughing and joking. I think the last year was the hardest because, like, Ashley was kind of done. You two were kind of just going through the motion of it, and and Marin was still into it, but it was
hard because she was so much younger than us.
right. And that's like everything else.
Yeah.
Like everything else, it just becomes harder because then it's like everyone's life changes. Like I told you, it's like that school. Like it's
Right.
like if I took you back in time and put you in a bunch of, or right now put you in a bunch of high school kids, you'd probably be like, yeah, I don't really fit here. And if I put you in middle school, you really don't fit. But then when you lived it, you can't imagine being anyplace else.
Right.
But Halloween, now, so just to talk about this real quick, I won't go into super detail. I know because you have a bunch you want to talk about, but I saw Halloween Kills last night with my girlfriend's daughter, which is my bestie.
Your bestie.
Yeah, no,
I was your bestie,
she's my
but
she's
okay.
my horror bestie.
Okay.
Because she loves every horror movie there is, and so we saw Halloween Kills. So I'm not going to give anything away.
Is Shannon like? Scary?
Oh no
Yeah,
way.
me
That's
neither.
why I had to go with her daughter. Because the daughter's like, I want to see that movie. I'm like, me too. Let's go. Let's not think about it. Let's just go. Like,
Okay.
it was a really good movie. I did enjoy it. I must have jumped 4 times. Like that was. That's always. I'm a jumpy person. Like I
Yeah.
want to be scared.
Yeah.
There was some gore. There was some things I was like, that was a little overkill, but it's a horror, and that's what it's supposed to do. So I'll give you that. It doesn't sound like I'm trying to sell it because I don't want to give away too much. There was something that happened or didn't happen that I thought was going to happen, and I was like, no. And I was like, I think because I went with that thought pattern, and when it didn't happen, I don't want to give it away. So, because it's too new, it's too new. But I'll tell you, I've seen every single one. I like the first one. I like the second one. I hated the third because that's the one where they have to put on, like, it's nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's about stupid masks. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I don't know. But by the time you're on your second movie and you change, like, the whole storyline, it's just like, should just be called something else. Like, like anything but, what I thought it was. I went to see Halloween H2O with a friend who is not with us anymore. So that's why I felt like I had to go to the movie theater for it to kind of honor him, because I remember us sitting in the movie theater. I know no one cares, but I remember sitting there looking at him going, this movie isn't that scary. Like, and then something happened and we both jumped that made like 4 other people jump because we were like, what? Because we weren't paying attention.
Right.
Which that made us like laugh uncontrollably because we're like those type of friends, like, like look at each other like, you idiot, you just jumped at like a door, and I was like, but I wasn't watching. Like,
oh my God, the door opens.
I know, but it was a bang and we weren't prepared for it, so you jump. And so I went to go see Halloween Kills, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you like all the others, I thought this was well made, good storyline, and I can't wait to the next one. Because there is an next one. Like, you just know there's an next one. Which I'm already, I'm thrilled about. And I'll just kind of, the only thing I'll say is that the idea of this movie, which I'm not going to give anything away at all, is that in the beginning, you're introduced to everyone that's ever survived from Michael Myers movies, but they're all older. So, for instance, the very first movie is, Jamie Lee Curtis is a babysitter with the little boy. The little boy's grown up. And the only thing I didn't get the chance because I had no power was I was wanting to look up to see if those actors were the same people. Yeah. I'm going to say probably the majority was because there were some people that were really, like, air quotes, old that I go, okay, she could have been in the 1978 or the 1981 movie. Yeah. But I'll tell you right now, it was... totally a good movie because they all survive and they have the attitude like they're going to defeat him, and you get the impression like it's going to be a big war, and it ends up being really good. So I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to say who wins or who doesn't win, but I'm ready for the next one. So I'll give a big thumbs up for that movie. So if you want to go see that, go see it. I don't even know how long. It's probably not going to be how much longer because it's been out in the movie theater for a while. And what does Ian say is, my wife and my oldest son are horror fanatics. He saw Chucky when he was 3 and it didn't scare. She saw Chucky when she was 3. Sorry. My daughter watched Chucky, all the movies, laughed at the movies, thought it was hilarious, and then literally, I don't know, let's say a year later was like, I'm scared of Chucky. I'm like, well, you just watch all the movies and like it took forever for it to click in.
How old was she when she watched it?
She was little. Like, she was, I'm going to say, like, in that 6, 7 age. Like, so she wasn't older, but she was still in that little, but by the next year, she was super freaked. And then we kind of talked about it, and I sat down, and I said, okay, it's a movie. We watched some, like, inside stuff, and she got to see robots. And then she realized, like, and then I did the opposite, where I kind of show her, like, it's not legit, you know. Yeah. And she just kind of, and the best part was by the time she got to that last movie when they showed the making of it, like they had the movie, it was like Chucky was in the movie of Chucky, if that makes sense. Like they made a movie and then Chucky's supposed to be in it. Like, oh, they made a movie of him and he was in it and they had all these like fake robots, which was how they made Chucky. Yeah. And I was kind of like, see, it's not real. And she was like, oh, okay. Which, well, for a little kid, that kind of makes it all. But I totally love I love horror movies. I don't know if I'm into gore. I'm going to say I'm probably not into gore now. I was years ago when gore was like, yeah, that ain't real. Look at that eye. That looked fake. Like, that looks like a potato. Like, like
looks like a potato.
Like, it looked fake. Now I'm like, ooh, I know that's not real. But like in the movie, there's a surgery, and I swear it looked real. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm all set on that.
I would have been passed out on the floor.
And I was like, I'm all set on that.
Very well.
Yeah, and there wasn't blood. It was more just like body part. Like,
I understand that, but
I was just like, yeah, I'm not good on that one. I was like, okay, we can keep going.
Yeah.
And and Anna's the best. She leans over and says, "Why isn't Grey's Anatomy like that?" I'm like, "That looks so real." And I'm like, "Oh God, like I don't want to see this."
Like you're your mother's daughter.
Yeah, I know. Greys. I can't run the Greys.
Right.
Oh, so I'm gonna let you go because you have tons of things.
So I have the history of a bunch of Halloween stuff. So I have the history of Halloween, the traditions, and then I have like traditions of what some people do around the world, and then I have the top 10 movies.
Okay. All right.
According to 2 different lists. So I have top 10.
Okay.
2 times.
All right, that's a podcast. Gotta go. No.
And that is what we're talking about. So the history of Halloween, it actually translates to Hallowed Evening. And it's known to the early European celebrators as All Hallows Eve. It falls on October 31st because the ancient Gaelic festival of Samhain, which is Halloween's earliest known route, happened on that day.
So I don't want to interrupt because I don't, I know you have a lot to read, but I just have a question. Are you still this big advocate for Halloween falling on the 31st? Or are you the type that can be like the last Saturday and so everyone can enjoy it? See, I'm just going to throw this out real quick before you talk, not to interrupt you, but I'm strict. I'm on just make it Saturday. Kids can enjoy it. Adults can go to parties. And the next day, everyone, next day, Sunday, and we all can rest. Go.
So here's the thing. I'm kind of both ways because, yes, Saturday, like, I love the idea of not having anything to do the next day. Right. And especially for the kids, too. Right. And then, but my OCD says October 31st.
Like, it falls on a Sunday this year.
Yeah. Like, we're celebrating Saturday, so.
But you're not celebrating on the 31st. Right. And no one's going to, like, you can celebrate on as your town is, or you? I
am.
Right, so, but they're not going to be trick-or-treaters until Sunday.
We don't get trick-or-treaters around here anyways.
That's not the point.
I understand, though.
Like, if you live in a town, see, for me, I just think.
I mean, you may as well just do it Saturday.
I just don't think it's just so weird. It's amazing how this world is so picky about everything. Like and I hate to say this word, I know people get offended, but it's the snowflake world where you can't say something because it hurts someone's feelings, but yet we can't change a day that makes sense to me. Right. That makes sense. Like you could actually party it up and not feel guilty. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's the only thing that I don't get. Like we have to change everything. You and I went over something that about like Columbus Day or like people's views, and I'll go, I understand to this degree, but I don't understand. But Halloween should be the easiest thing because we're really not celebrating anything except like this. It's not like Christmas, like where it's a religion or it's something else.
I mean, Thanksgiving's on a different day every year, so
it's always
my favorite thing is what day is Thanksgiving on? I'm like, it's usually on Thursday, so my guess is Thursday.
I believe it's the third.
I think it's the day before Black Friday.
No, it's the third. How am I surprised? Not surprised. That's how you know it. Like for me, I believe, isn't it the third? It's the
Take your time.
The last Thursday of November? Or the third Thursday of November, maybe?
I don't remember.
Oh, no, it's one of those tricks. It's one of those tricks. Yeah. So it always falls on a different day because it's...
Right. I can understand somebody wanting the date, but they're like, oh, what day does that fall on?
Yeah, I'm like...
You've been alive for how long now?
I know.
Has Thanksgiving ever been on a different day for you? Because I would like to know.
The date I get. Because
the date. Yeah. But the day.
Yeah. For the longest time when I was a kid, I remember thinking it was 25th. Yeah. Like it was the 25th all the time. Yeah. Like, but I was a kid. Like I remember being like in middle school and they're like, when Thanksgiving? I'm like, November 25th. Because it kind of always fell somewhere in that. Right. So I was always thought It was 25th. By the time I got to high school, I got that fixed out, though.
Yeah. That's good. Today's still a little iffy, though.
Could be. It could be the 25th.
What day does it fall on this year? Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Go ahead. Go on with your... I
have no idea.
Because you have so much to read.
It's definitely the 20-something. So it happens around that time because it's marked as a pivotal time of the year where the seasons change, and the observers also believe that the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world becomes thin, and they can like meet and they can come down and stuff.
That's cool.
So the history of the Halloween traditions. So the Celtics celebrated, I'm not going to say that word again, in costumes as a disguise against ghosts, and enjoyed special feasts and made lanterns out of gourds. So that's how we take in the pumpkin carvings and stuff like that.
Isn't the pumpkin carvings also supposed to scare away it's supposed to be like scaring away demons for your house and protect. That's all most of all those stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why you walk around with masks. It's supposed to keep them all at bay.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back in time and see some of those people in those kind of costumes, woo, they are scary. They're actually scarier than what they see now. You ever seen the Easter Bunny back in the 1920s?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm like, who is sitting on that?
Oh my God! Get a picture.
I'm looking at that thing going, that thing's gonna bite my head off. I saw the Mickey Mouse, the very first Mickey Mouse costumes. I was like, I'm paralyzed for life. Right. I'd be like, they're like, stand next to this guy. No wonder kids are afraid of things. Like back then, I'd be like, Mom, that mouse is gonna kill me. Go ahead. Sorry, that's not even talk. Okay. That's not even on Halloween. It's just the fact so those costumes are so scary. Okay, just for the record, this year Thanksgiving is on the 25th. So just want to say I'm right again.
I love that for you. Good job.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So rituals evolved into making lighthearted activities.
I'm going trick-or-treating with your dad. It is lightheaded.
For telling like fortunes and stuff like that. So like a lot of people would write fortunes. So bobbing for apples was a fortune-telling game originally.
I did know that. Actually, believe it or not, also at one time, bobbing for apples also made in Europe was a way to
tell
pick.
It. I know.
Oh, you know it? Yeah, okay, go girl. I know it. I didn't do my work, but I know it. Like I knew that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So apples were selected for also telling. Okay, well, it represents the woman's suitors, and then so the woman would pick the apple, and that's like your potential future husband.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happens is underneath the apple, they would put like a letter or a number or something that they would give all the gentlemen in the room, and they would bring in all the young maidens that were available to get married, and then your fate was in the apple / bobbing hands. So when you put your face in and whatever you got, that was the right husband to get because the fate picked it out for you. I know. I saw a whole thing on that. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's my luck.
I was listening to another podcast, and they're like, why do we bob for apples? And then I read this today, and I was like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. But the way they put it was so funny. They're like, oh yeah, let me just put a bunch of apples in there and drown myself to get an apple.
I think for me, it was a lot of the whole fact that like, some guys like, oh no, please don't be picking me, picking me, and some girls like, oh please, and I kept thinking like, because I keep thinking modern day thought compared to back then, like, please don't let me get the old guy in the corner, please don't. He's been this is his 5th Halloween, please don't.
All the time somebody picks him, like, he's the last one standing. But
I always think of
no suitors all of a sudden.
I hate to say this because I try not to watch so many videos, but I watched this video with little boys in line, and all the girls are picking. He's like, no, thank you, no thank you. And then there's no little girls, and he's like, I'm like, dude, what are you waiting for? Like, you said no to everybody. Like, what do you think you're? And then I think of that, and I have that moment of that one guy like, and then like the one girl or the one girl you don't want to pick, you're like, oh no, oh now I'm your wife, and you're like,
great,
got one tooth in your mouth, oh great.
How'd you get the apple?
They got the apple because I stopped. All right, keep going. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting this.
Oh my god. So there's another game called mirror gazing.
I don't know this one, so this is good.
This one I would not want to do.
Okay.
So people would stand in front of a mirror and stare at themselves for hoping to see their future in the mirror. I would never want to look at myself for that long.
No, but there is. I know I'm going to throw this out because I actually know this, and it's a good Halloween. There is a black mirror that's supposed to be haunted. Now, I'm being legit. That if you stare at it long enough, something comes out.
No.
That it's so haunted that it's in somebody's. It's in a. It is in a museum up high, so no one can touch it or uncover it, and it's in a case. That's how legit freaked people are of that mirror.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Nope, thank you. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Thank you.
What, you looking at the mirror? No, you don't own the
mirror.
No,
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
You can't think about it because there's no mirror. If you owned a mirror, then I'd be like that type of mirror, then you'd be scared. But you don't have it, so there's nothing to be scared about. Just know, if you ever see a mirror up high and it's covered, don't touch it. Simple as that.
So the next activity was fortune cookies. And so people would write fortunes on a piece of paper in milk. And then they would put it in walnuts, and then they would put it over in a pan over the fire.
Yep.
And they would open up, and then it would brown just like the milk would brown just enough so that you can see like the message and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
So
what's it like fortune? It's like fortune.
It's a fortune cookie.
Like a fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I have history of costumes too.
Oh, cool.
So people would dress up as saints and recite songs and verses and go door to door, also asking for soul cookies, which is pretty much just like a biscuit and stuff like that. And then
so basically Halloween is almost the dark Christmas. Think about this. It really is. Yeah. So I guess The Nightmare Before Christmas isn't that far off.
Right.
That's like that's stuff that I like. Because then you go, oh, wait a minute, this makes sense why they wrote that or they made that. Because it basically is. Because years ago they would go singing and, that's crazy. Which that's what, if you know anything about Christmas, people go caroling. For like pudding or food. That's what they actually do. Not just to sing. They would get stuff. Like warm cider, warm drinks, like stuff like that. Not just money, that's crazy.
Yeah. So the candy grabbing concept became mainstream in the U.S., of course, because that's us. In the mid 1900s, which families would provide treats for the children in hopes that they would be immune to the pranks. So like the people would give the kids candy so they wouldn't trash their house. So like Cabbage Night. So in hopes that they wouldn't get that.
That's why it's trick or treat. It's trick or the treat.
Right.
So give me the treat or you get the trick.
Yes. So costumes evolved from tributes to saints to scary looking costumes because young Scottish and Irish pranksters changed it to the scary stuff. They're like, yeah, we don't want to do saints anymore. We'll do scary.
Well, I think that's the trick. I mean, you're supposed to be scaring off demons and stuff. Yeah. So it's why not be tricking? I think the best one is the Hocus Pocus. Is when they first wake up after they've been put to death and the flame starts up, the black flame. They walk out and they're like, oh, there's a small little demons. Like, and then you're like, they're just kids. Like, wait a minute, like. They thought they were other bad spirits also. I always love the fact that they think the guy dressed up like the devil is the devil. Oh, yeah. And the funniest part is it's brother and sister that actually play that role.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it's Penny Marshall and her brother. Oh no, I can't remember his something Marshall. Their brother and sister. And he's like, okay, enough with you guys, as he's dancing with the I said, was it Sarah Parker? And he's like, okay, no more of this part. I'm like, why did you have people walking in your house? Like, that's the one part of the movie I'm always like, I didn't get that. And he's like, come on in. And I'm like, there's nothing in there. Like, there's not even a party. Like, what were you thinking when you're inviting 3 women in your house and then your wife's there?
Right.
She didn't seem like that type to be enjoying that.
So, traditions around the world today. Ireland and Scotland celebrate with bonfires, games, and traditional foods, including there's a pastry with fortunes inside. So they still keep the fortune intact, or fortune part. Mexico celebrate the Day of the Dead in honor of those who passed. And there's so the children come at midnight on Halloween, so actually November 1st, and they stay for 24 hours, and then adults...
At the cemetery, right? They do a lot in cemeteries.
Like I don't know if it's in the cemetery.
They get foods, they get flowers. That's like a big party. Like, they do a legit... Because they think, like, that day, the dead's going to come back, and they're going to want to eat their favorite foods and stuff like that. Like, it's a whole... Like, I've seen not just movies, like, legit, like, documentary where that's, like, this big feast. And I'm like... Holy cow. Like, this isn't a cemetery. This is the worst place I would want to be, but they embrace it, which I love that. Yeah. So, like, I always think, like, Mexican people fear nothing because they embrace all that crap. Right. Like, I can only imagine, like, when people come back, they just be like, it's just grandma. It's all good. It's just the rest of us would be like...
Hey, Graham, how you doing? But then, the next day, the adults would come down and join the festivities and stuff. In Romania, they celebrate... at Vlad the Impaler's TP's home in Bran Castle in Transylvania.
That's he's supposed to be the first, like, supposedly rumors he's supposed to be the first Dracula. But I don't buy that.
You don't buy that? Who do you think the first one is?
I don't think there is. I think that's a nice, good story to keep your kids in line. Like, like, because that's what years ago how they kept you in line is by telling you the stories that you didn't have Google to like, you know, if someone told you that there was a monster down the street and it's a legit monster and the guy comes out of the house and he's pale as can be, you're believing it. Yeah, because I hate to tell you, in the 80s, and because I know being a kid, I kind of grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, that I remember we all had that haunted house or that house that was deserted or like falling apart, and we would all pay people like, I'll give you $1 if you walk in that house, I'll give you $1 if you go at night in that house, or you know, you'd be like, yep, I'm doing it.
There's a house in my neighborhood and it was like deserted for a long time, and I think somebody actually like went in there and like wrote on the windows. It was dirty, like they wrote in the windows, and I was a child riding the bus, and I'm like, nope. No, I don't even want to look at the house.
You know, I can't with you. You're jumping at everything. Do you remember? You know, okay, because you went to the same high school, different times, but you went to the same high school. Do you know the corner of the high school there? There used to be a building.
Are you telling me something's haunted there?
No, there used to be a big building there. It's all houses now.
Okay, yeah.
But there used to be a big deserted building there. Like, it was 2 or 3 floors, and they say it was haunted. And someone bet me money to go in there, and I went in there. I literally, they paid me. Now this is years ago, so $1 was a lot of money for us because I was in middle school. Hell, that used to give you a slushie and like 3 potato thing.
You can't get a pack of gum pretzels for $1 these days.
I know. I used to give you a small slushie for 50 cents, and then like 2 pretzel rods at Mr. Slushie when he drove around. And they bet me $1 to go into this building, and I had to go all the way to the second floor and wave. And I was like, it was during the day, so I could care less. So I went in, and I went up, and I remember like waving, and I remember like the floors having holes. Like, it was really dangerous, but I was just like, but you're young.
Like $1's $1.
I'll do anything for $1, if you know what I mean. No, I just didn't. If it was at night, I think I'd be more scared. Like, daytime stuff, I had a bad problem when I was younger. I hated, like, I couldn't say no to dares. Yeah. I was that guy who got beat up all the time. So it was like, I dare you. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to show you how badass I am. I'm going to go in there. And then
I'd be like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
I just want to know.
You can bet me all you want.
I just want you to know I did get an award for that.
For what?
For going in there. I got a special surprise when I got in there. the high school boys were stashing magazines in there that I didn't know, and I got to be. So I was in 6th grade going, hello.
Sports magazines, huh?
It was biking.
Nice.
And no, I remember going and finding like this big pile of stuff, and I was just like looking. I came out, never told a word, never said anything to everyone. Everybody in the group missed out.
Did you take any?
No, I didn't take any.
Oh.
Where would I put it? My luck, my mom would have been like, what is this? And I would have been like,
just a magazine, Mom.
I read it for the article.
I got that for you, actually.
Oh, Jesus. My mom would have a hot
Dad's. It's his Christmas gift. It's for Thanksgiving. It's coming up. So, the 25th.
The 25th, yes. Everything's on the 25th. No, but I remember doing that. And I remember thinking to myself, I ain't telling you guys because you guys missed out. Yeah. And I remember going back a few times, walking by the building, not going in, but walking by. And then I know they, of course, I get to an age where I just wasn't scary anymore. And then it started not looking even safer. So, because that's 6th grade. By the time in 8th grade, it looked even worse. And then I believe a couple of years after they knocked it down, now those houses all there. But that used to be the big thing. So I kept thinking like high school boys would walk down. I was in middle school at the time, but high school, they would all go there. And probably there's a small group to be like, yeah.
No, nothing about that seems fun. No, thank you.
Well, I'm sure high school boys weren't scared as I was. Like, you're in 6th grade, a whole different. But I used to play I used to live next to the playground in Portsmouth, and Portsmouth playground is right next to a cemetery.
Yeah, that's freaking weird.
Why
are we doing that?
I used to play flashlight tag in that cemetery.
Oh, no. I don't like cemeteries. I just feel like I'm stepping on people, and I don't like that. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get to this guy.
I'm trying to step on this guy, not you.
Excuse me. Take a big step. No, it's not for me.
The first one that complains, I would stop.
No kidding.
I just picture this guy lift up. Get off my lawn.
Ow.
Hold on. Go on. I apologize.
Okay. So Japan right now is...
I had a cough.
Oh my God.
Easy. I just had a cough.
So in Japan, they have a big parade just outside Tokyo, and 4,000 Halloween costume enthusiasts. They will submit a picture or
enter a picture.
Apply. I can't find the word in my head. Apply for entry and pay a fee to be part of the parade.
Oh yeah.
So that's the big thing there.
I like when Japan and Japanese when they do the dragon. You know when they do those dragons? That's so.
Oh, for Chinese New Year.
Yeah, I love those dragons.
They're pretty cool.
They are badass. I would have that for Halloween all the time. That would be my costume.
I am the dragon.
I watch Kung Fu Panda. You ever seen Kung Fu Panda? I love when they're the thing and the little boy sees it. Like the guy goes into the mouth and comes up the rear end. And I'm always and he's getting his butt kicked in the middle, and the kid's just like, oh my God. And I'm always like, that's what I want. But then trying to find 4 other friends to walk around with me, just kind of awkward.
Right, you gotta find friends.
I don't have many. Right. Your dad still doesn't acknowledge me.
Poor dad. So, the Philippines, children go down door to door in costumes where they sing and ask for prayers for those who are stuck in purgatory. They moved to trick-or-treating. But a lot of the towns are wanting to do that again instead of treats, do the prayers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's almost like the Day of the Dead. You just don't forget dead people. Yeah. That's basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of these are about the same. They're all celebrating.
I don't know. I think that is so comforting to me for some reason.
You don't forget about the dead.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about the Mexicans culture down there, or I don't know if it's Spanish. I shouldn't say Mexican, but it seems like the Day of the Dead. It's it's all about remembering who came before you.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that.
Cool one in here.
I love the fact when they have all the pictures up and they remember they have great great grandfather, great great. I like that stuff. Go ahead.
I'm gonna skip a couple of these because I want to get to the one that really stood out to me.
We don't need every single country in the world.
Well, I only had a few anyway.
She's only have 150 left.
Oh, so it was not the next one, it's the one after, but this will be the last one.
Okay.
So in India,
we do have plenty of time.
Okay, well, I guess I could do more then. For the 16 days during the second something of the Hindu lunar month, it is believed that when a person dies, Yama, who is the Hindu god of death, takes their soul to purgatory, where they find the last 3 generations of their family. And I didn't like that sound. Where they find the last 3 generations of their family, and then their souls are briefly returned to like the families or whatever, and they can. It's just for the day. Yeah. So
Ian says the Day of the Dead is one of my favorites also.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what I think. I think our own mentality, who we are and our lifestyle and our lives itself.
Mm-hmm.
I think, isn't there a moment where you're not that old yet? That like I'm not that old either, but I'm getting there. Where you say, "What happens?
Mm-hmm.
Will anyone miss me? Will anyone remember me?" And of course, right away you go, "Of course."
Mm-hmm.
I can sit here and say, "You remember me, your dad will," what have you. I can go through the list. Once they go, who remembers me?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, "Oh well, Jessie's 22, so she'll remember." And then the question is, when you go, who's going to remember me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the question. I think I like to think that's why all of this is now part of the world, because I feel like there's certain people who want the 15 minutes of fame. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I like to think the 15 minutes of fame is that it's because it's not 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, everyone knows you for 15 minutes, but it's stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone one day somehow goes to look for something, and then it's boom, and it's like watching a really old movie. And like to this day, it's funny, I don't know how you are, but I'll watch an old movie and I'll go, "Oh yeah, like, oh, okay." I'll watch I watched something with it's my favorite movie, but I caught it on TV. It was Chi Chi Bang Bang. And I love that movie. It's one of my favorites, right?
That's so weird that you say that, because I was just talking to somebody and they were saying that their favorite
I own it on
VHS,
DVD.
But that was like last night that I was talking to somebody about
weird.
that.
That's my favorite movie of all time. Like, well, I'm talking about I know I have other movies too, but that's my thing. And I'm like, oh, and then I happen to see a picture. I posted a picture on the page where the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy is staying next to Dick Van Dyke, saying, "See, I am Mary Poppins." And it's like I look at him, I looked at Dick Van Dyke and go, "Oh, wow, he's so old." Like, I just saw him, and that's that 5 minutes of fame for me.
Yeah.
Even though that movie goes on, but that's 5 minutes of fame. Like, that man will eventually go. Hopefully he doesn't go anytime soon, but he will eventually go, and he'll be lived on. Same thing with Betty White. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm afraid," but Betty White will live on forever because she's part of, like, what now, 4 major shows, because even that Hot in Cleveland got really hot and big. You know what I mean? Like, that everyone will always have that click on TV, and she's that age.
Yeah.
Like, I watch the Golden Girls, and
she hasn't aged anything.
Right.
Isn't she 99?
I don't know. I think 98. She's up there.
I think she's 99.
And she might be, but she's up there. And the one thing, Betty White's going to outlive us all. That's the one thing I can sit here and say, and honestly, it's the 5 minutes of fame. It's the 2 seconds of time. It's a second that maybe our kids, if you have kids, will go on and be like, "This is my dad. This is." I mean, I always laugh. I have a play. I have 2 plays that were on VHS, and I put it on DVD. And Marin watched it, and my daughter. And I remember when she was little, when she was doing plays at school, in middle school, and she kept saying, "When is Dad going to sing?" And I kept being like, "No, I don't sing. Like, this is a play. Like, it's not a musical." She goes, "Yeah, I do plays all the time." I'm like, "No, you do musical at school.
Yeah.
I do plays." And she goes, "When are you going to sing?" And I'm like, "I don't."
You should bring them over. We should watch.
No, we should not watch them.
I want to watch them.
Because I don't know where there's my comedy one where it's called Audience, where I'm an audience watching the audience / play. So we're the audience. Are you catching on?
Yeah.
Like we're on bleachers. We're like dressed like we're watching a play. And I think it's hilarious. To this day, I'll watch it.
Yeah. So bring it over.
I don't know where it is. That's the problem.
We'll figure it out.
The one that I have is the one that we won the states with, and I hate. It's called Crossing the Line because it had a message in it. It was like, don't drink and drive. And I have this like 6-hour monologue in it, which I'm like...
6 hours?
No, it felt like 6 hours. It's like 2 pages monologue. Yeah. And I'm just like...
It's a long time.
And you have to understand, like, I'm big on... When I did funny things, like I did funny things in high school, so like plays. So once I did something funny, the crowd would laugh, and you go, yes. Mm-hmm. In your head, you go, yes. And then you get off the stage. And it didn't matter what anyone said to you because they laughed and you were good.
Yeah.
During that monologue, I remember sitting back down because it's supposed to be I'm an ambulance driver and I show up to the drunken crash of these drunken driver kids. It's about teenagers drinking at the prom. And I hate it. I'm just like, I did the speech and I sat down and my friend was like, oh, you nailed it. And I'm like, how can you tell? Like, no one's even saying a word. And he's like, oh, that's trick. No one's saying anything because if we were bad, everyone would be talking. And I'm like, yeah, it didn't fly with me. That was the last one I did. And they did another series and I was just like, I can't do it. I just can't. I didn't want to do it in the first place, but I'm sorry to say, I know I'm going to be politically incorrect here, but the poor guy who had my spot in that show had he had a problem with his foot, and he ended up having it broken so it can fit. They broke it purposely to fix it because he wore a shoe, so the shoe would lift him up. And the problem is in the play, you had to walk with a girl with a gurney right on the thing, so when you take the step, it would lean, and she would grab onto the gurney, which is funny. It's not funny, poor guy. I won't say his name because it's poor guy. I love this kid. Right. He was a really good kid. And the directors like brought me in to sit there and they're like, I heard you did last year's play. And I said, yeah. And they're like, we want you to do it again for the States. And I'm like, I don't want to do a serious play. And then when they showed me this poor guy and he walks and the poor, I'll say Marcy because she was in the thing. She's holding on for dear life because she's literally like.
About to fall out.
Literally. Like, and then he got replaced. And you know what? I felt bad for him because he was one of those guys who did everything for the theater. Like backstage, he did everything. Like he was all about it. And I kept being like, can we get him another part? Yeah. And it was like, no, and I felt bad. And I was like, but I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So my daughter will watch it and be like, well, why aren't you going to start singing? And I'm like, I don't even want to be here. And you were like, want me to sing?
First of all, you don't want me to sing.
Yeah, first of all, yeah. Trust me, Shannon's like, can you stop singing in the car? It's so funny because we have different things because like my family has the trick of when you get in the car, you listen to music and you sing and you whatever. Yeah. And like in her family, you get in the car and you talk.
Oh.
So it's like no radio or it's a real thing. And I'm always like, and I'm always driving. She's like, oh, turn down the radio. I'm like, this isn't my time to jam and act like I can really sing.
Right. See, my thing is like, I know
maybe it's
the chorus.
Maybe it's the fact that I can't sing. She's like, oh, in my family, we don't sing. Click.
We actually just don't talk. Silence.
She's like,
can time to reflect.
Can I run behind the car?
I'll push. It's fine. I'll be the hood ornament.
Oh my.
All right, so
go ahead.
I found. Don't look at it.
Oh my gosh, I can't read from here. I'm old.
So I have 2 different articles. I have 2 different top 10 movies.
Okay.
So the first one, I'm gonna do 10 to 1.
Okay. Are these adult horror movies or are these kid-friendly movies?
Both.
Okay.
So in number 10, we have Scream from 1996.
All right, I saw that one. That's a pretty good one.
Number 9 is Halloween Town, which I love. That's a Disney movie.
Never seen that.
That's a Disney movie. I like it.
How can that even be scary?
It's not.
Oh, it's just top 10. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to do Scream, like scaries. Okay,
no.
Go ahead.
It's just top 10 Halloween movies. Because I wanted to see what the
I
most was. And then I had like 40 different articles with different things. So.
Middle schoolers that watch that or elementary that are like, ooh, I get it. You want them to sleep at night.
Yeah. Although I watched that as a kid and I did not sleep very well that night.
Oh my gosh.
We talked about this. I can't even watch E.T.
I know. Uh-huh.
All right. Number 8 is The Exorcist from 1973. 7 is The Blair Witch Project.
Okay. That is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. All right. Okay, we need to stop right here. So my friend and I went. I was a full-bloom alcoholic at the time.
Yes.
We snuck in drinks where we shouldn't have. And I went to see that movie, and we laughed during that whole movie for the fact that there's not one decision those kids made that any of us would have made.
Right.
And I automatically say right away is when they're in the tent and something is grabbing, like it's smacking the tent. You've never seen it, but they're in the tent and they're like, oh my God, what's wrong? Everything's happening around us, right? The first thing my friend and I is like, I'm jumping through the tent and attacking whatever it's there because it's going to kill you. So no, they open up the tent and they just start all running. Like, where are you running to? Because just for the fact, just a few minutes before that, when it was daylight, you couldn't figure out how to get out of the woods.
Right.
That, like, if you just kept going straight in one direction, I'm sure you're going to find A, water, A town, because the world is round. So you're bound to find something. But yet these kids kept going in a circle. And I'm like, how could you not know you're going in a circle?
Well,
like,
I know.
Trust me, I know I was drunk, but I remember that movie enough to go. And I remember going, what is this? I mean, for me, grab a big stick. I'd be grabbing one of those half-dead sticks, and I'd be out there going, whoom.
Yeah.
Like the camera guy would have been knocked out. I would have been like, I don't know. I don't trust any of you people because I don't know how this is happening. And at the end, when the guy goes into the house, why are you going in an abandoned house? Why are you going to the basement? And then we have to see that guy in the corner. And then I'm like, that's it? Like you went into a house without something? Mm-hmm. By this point, I'm so scared. I am making nunchucks out of like dead wood. I'm like, and the part that I hated, one guy has a camera, one person has like a light, one person has the map, and then the map disappears. I'm like, obviously we shouldn't trust Joey with the map.
So you love this movie?
I hated that movie. I didn't find it scary, and I think it's the worst decision that any young people can make. And trust me, I'm scared, but I'm one of those types if I'm going down swinging.
Okay.
I'm the first one dead in every horror movie.
I would literally just let them kill me. Like if it's my time apparently.
I can see you. You're just fetal.
I'm just like in the corner.
She's like a fetal position.
Rocking.
There's no tent. You don't even put up the tent. You know, like you're just like.
This is why I don't camp.
You're like, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
The minute you saw that's the other thing. The minute I saw the stupid tree thing, which is true, that is a true fact.
Okay, I don't want to know.
Of the people making like little things out of like the wood stuff, right? As soon as I saw that, I'd be like, okay, it's time to go. Like, no, let's keep walking. What is wrong with you? Who do you think made that? Little fairies? Come out. Oh my God, sorry.
So number 6 is It, the 2017 version.
Yes, that was good. I want to say it really is good. I love that movie. I'm not going to talk back about it. But the first one, the Tim Curry one, has a little special
pizzazz.
I don't know. It's just this little special darkness he brings. I don't even know. I don't even want to talk bad about the other guy because I know he does a really good job and I enjoy it. I saw the first half. I have not seen the second half. But I think there's a special place in my heart for Tim Curry because Tim Curry just brings out an extra craziness. I don't know. Like he's just one of those. He just has something. His acting ability, or he's in his real ability, is a real kind of dark humor type of, because he makes that clown scary, even though the CGI on it is crap.
Yeah.
But just the clown part alone of him is scary. Okay, so that's my opinion about that
one. Number 5 is The Witches from 1990.
Oh yeah, I was. I had to be about freshman year when that came out, so it wasn't. But that makeup is good. You know what that one is about? Mm-hmm. It's really a kids show. It's about a little boy who lands up finding witches, and then he gets turned into a mouse, and then it's all the adventure. No. It's really not what you think it is.
There's one, and I can't think of what it is, but it has.
Yeah, Rocky Horror. He says Rocky Horror Baby. That's not scary at all. That's a nice sing along. Like that's a sing.
I've never seen it. I want to see it.
Oh, it's so great. You have to go where everybody does all the lines and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. I can't say any of those lines either.
Number 4 is The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Hate every Charlie Brown. Cannot watch them.
Really?
I can't watch them. I don't relate to any of them.
It's Snuggly Dance.
I know. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I guess it's a time thing for me, or because I just didn't relate to it at all. And as a kid, because remember, Charlie Brown's old. Like when I was a little boy, and I was just like, no.
Yeah. They're not my favorite either. I think they're cute.
I love people. I know people.
They're
who
not my favorite to watch.
I know. There's people that like that's their jam. Like and I haven't
Kelsey's
even seen
grandma
the new
loved it, so Kelsey loves it.
I've never even seen the new one. I just kind of like,
Yeah. The Nightmare Before Christmas comes in number 3.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Number 2 is Halloween, 1978.
That's a great movie.
And number 1 is What We Do in the Shadows, 2014.
No, I don't remember. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, that's number 1.
I'm slipping. I don't even know if that's a kid's or an adult movie.
I have no idea.
All right.
The picture that I saw wasn't very kid friendly, but
could.
You never know.
It's 2014. I don't even think I was. Yeah, no, I probably didn't. I missed it. I unfortunately had to. I landed up dating people who didn't like horrors, so I had 2 people. The people don't like horrors. And my girlfriend now, and the girlfriend before didn't like. Like my wife, they didn't like that stuff. So it was like, if I didn't watch it by myself, I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
So.
So the other ones were the other article said. The Shining was number 10.
Okay, that is the scariest movie.
I don't think I'd ever want to even think about it.
Because that's a Stephen King movie. That is the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. Because there's so many moments where you go, is this real? Is this in his head? Is this happening? Like those are classic scary movies where you don't, it makes you wonder. Like you walk away going, did that all happen? Was that real? Was that's a good one of questioning, is that him going crazy or is that legitimate ghosts? Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't like that. Moving on. Friday the 13th is number 9. Then The Haunted Mansion.
Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th.
First one. Do you know that's based on a real story?
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know
in Norway, that actually happened.
Great. Fantastic. Number 3
You bitch. Go to throw my 2 cents in and you're like, you don't care.
No, you're freaking me out.
Go ahead. That's based on, well, it's only about, it's about kids that go camping.
Okay, great.
And then, and actually, if you want to know, they land up figuring out that they think it's one of the guys that was camping that actually kills everybody. But they can't prove it years later, and he gets off. But it's a
What part of I don't want to know?
Well, is that ghosts and stuff? So
I
how
don't
scary
care.
is that? That's not scary. Ghosts are scary.
It is nighttime. It's too scary.
Some guy from Norway is gonna.
It's bedtime.
Some guy from Norway that's like 80 right now is gonna show up and being like,
You
"Hey,
never
you wanna
know.
go camping?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Well, I would never want to go camping.
So see, you're fine. Just don't open the door.
All right. So Haunted Mansion, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wait a minute, Haunted Mansion with
with what's his face?
I've never watched that because that looks so stupid.
I've never seen it.
Bill Murray.
But I love
Not Bill Murray.
No.
Bill.
Nope, not even Bill.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah. I like the ride. in Disney.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I went on that ride.
I like how in California there's a restaurant and you're like part of like the ghost part. You know, like when it's in the restaurant.
Oh, you can talk about this, right? You can't talk about the.
Yeah, I can. I can.
You can talk about the ghost
because
part.
you know why? It wasn't a real story.
Because it's a Disney story. That's
it's a
true.
Disney story. But yeah, in California you can like reserve tables and stuff. Where did I leave off? Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street is number 7.
Okay.
Did you watch that one?
Yes.
It's
and
scary.
I'll tell you the scariest part of that movie, which is not scary now for anybody, but back in the day, was when Freddy Krueger's face comes out of the wall, like over the kid's bed. I think it was the girl's bed, right? Mm-hmm. But it's latex. But it's before that was like known to us. Like I watch it now and go, "Oh, that's latex." But years ago, I'd be like, oh, "When I was a kid, that looked like the wall stretched." I was all done. I thought that was the scariest scene in that movie.
Number 6 is Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that's scary. That is scary. I won't even go into that, but that's scary too.
Number 5 is Hocus Pocus, which I think should be number 1.
That's an entertaining, not scary, but it's
That's fine.
And they're making a part 2 in Providence as we speak.
And number 4 is The Omen.
The Omen is scary.
Is
the
it?
Second Doctor's in that, by the way. But yeah,
Of course he is.
yeah, I know. But I never thought he would be in something like that. That's another scary movie.
And number 3 is The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values.
Oh yeah, those are great.
I love Addams Family.
I do. I went to go to the movie theater to see both of those. I love Addams Family. I just love the fact that it's a great. They're out of contents to everybody, and I love how they. It's the fact that what they like, and then they merge with the real world, or someone in there like, and it's so common for them, and they're the outsiders.
Yeah.
And it's not the other way around, and you feel like it should be the other way around, where they should be on the outside. Like the Addams Family does that. They take the outsider and put them in there, so they're the weirdo, even though that person thinking that family's the weirdo. And I felt like the Munsters were the opposite. The Munsters went out in the real world, and they were like the weirdos out there. It's like I like that. I don't know why. I know that sounds weird, but I always like the fact
I get
that
it. Yeah.
that the guy walked into the house and it was like, what is going on? And everyone's like, yeah, you don't
You're
belong.
weird. Yeah.
You don't belong.
Yeah.
Where the other way, they made fun of the Munsters, where we made fun of the outside world. Because I feel like there's people out there who like Halloween. They like the gloom and stuff. And they celebrated it in the Addams Family.
Yeah.
When it was the opposite. Because the best part is when, it's always that one person that comes in that's like, oh, I'm going to steal all this money. And then you're like, these people are crazy. They got like, we electrocute each other for fun. It's like, they're and then they're trying to survive through all that craziness. Where the other one, like the Munsters, which I know they're making, Rob Zombie's making a new Munster movie. I don't know if he's going to put it like this, but in the TV show years ago, they would go out and do normal things, and then it'd be like, what do you, they'd make fun because he was Frankenstein, like, what, are you dead? And he's like, yeah, or you need a hand? Yeah, I got this from Joe yesterday, or something like, it was like those type of jokes.
Yeah. Number 2 is Charlie Brown again, and number 1 is Scream.
Scream's okay. I wouldn't say that's my favorite, but it was good. I think when it went too many times, it got like. Did you guys see Shutter Island? No, I did not, but I know it's a good movie. I don't know why I haven't seen it. I think it's because so many people have told me a little bit of it, and I feel like I kind of get like, all right, when I go, I'm kind of prepared for certain things. Like I don't know, but there's a guy who has a problem taking out his gun holster. And they're like, be aware he can't take a holster. This is a foreshadowing. And I'm like, okay. Like, I almost feel like I already.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of know what happens at the end, but I'm going to figure it all out as soon as I watch this movie. Like, at the end won't be a surprise. Where, like, that's the hard thing about those type of movies for me. Like, there's like, what is that movie? Was it 7? Was it 7? Yeah, with Brad Pitt years ago. Like, I went to the movie theater and saw it like that I was the first one. So when the surprise ending came, I was like, oh, I knew that, but I didn't know it. Now it's like, I feel like if you don't go that first 2 days, somewhere in the media, someone will be like, hey, did you see that this guy killed Joe? And you're like, no, but now I know. Thank you. Yeah. But I do know that has a weird... Depends on Halloween's weird for me because it can be scary. It could be like Twilight Zone weird twist that can scare people because it's not really scary, but it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, and then I always feel the same way when it comes to like everyone has their thing. Like, oh, I want cute and weird.
That's
like
me.
Cute and weird. Like, like the Munsters, Addams Family. Like, it's scary, but a safe scary.
Yeah. I like the little hand.
Oh, it.
Yeah.
I like it. No.
It's no, cousin it is the hairy guy.
Yeah. So
no,
it's
he's
Thing.
just hand.
It's Thing.
It's Thing.
It's Thing.
I thought they called him hand.
No, it's
whatever.
Thing. We're gonna look this up real quick, but I know it's Thing. Ready? We're gonna look this. Thing.
Ian, what's your favorite movie? What would you put number 1?
Oh, here we go. From the Addams Family.
Oh, you're right.
Did you know from the original movie, for original TV show, that the guy who played Lurch from the TV show, which I'm going to click onto his name because of course, I have to click on, Ted Cassidy was Thing and Lurch.
Really?
He was the hand that came out of the box.
Oh, he has a very nice hand.
Yeah. Alrighty. I believe that is it for us.
And that's a wrap on Halloween.
Yes, it's a wrap on Halloween. Wait a minute. You did ask Ian what's his favorite, so let's give him a minute because he might have a little delay.
Are you doing anything for Halloween?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Sunday. It's hard. My kids are all grown up, and I don't really have any kids to kind of do stuff with, and it's Sunday too. Who wants to do stuff and then have to go the next day? And
yeah,
the weather's been kind of crappy, even though I don't know what the weather's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's so different when you become an adult, and then when you become old too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to go to a bar. Like you just feel. I don't know. I know there's older bars. I know you can go when you go older, but they're not like.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. So.
I think we're gonna have either a party or.
Oh, you're gonna have a party? You didn't invite me? Jesus.
You can come.
No,
you gotta dress up.
No, I don't want the mercy.
You and Shannon can come.
Yeah.
We might go to the bar. We might go to Dockside. I think they're having a Halloween party.
I don't know if my stripper pole outfit still fits.
Well, you can try it on. You just paint yourself.
The only problem is that.
All right, Ian. I said, what's your favorite movie? What would you put as number one?
What did you put for number one, Ian? That's what we kind of know. We'll give you the moment here. We're kind of going over time, but we'll give you the moment. What's your favorite Halloween movie or scary movie? We'll give you the moment here. Anyone could have a moment, but you're the only one who watches. So.
Right. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I want to thank you, Ian, for just watching the podcast like 50 times, so it feels like someone's watching us. I just know he stops, watches, so it counts as 50.
Perfect.
And he's like, yeah, I only watch it once.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. So you're not. Oh, so Ian's not the scary one. Like he always said wife.
Yeah, his wife.
He's like you. He can't do it.
His oldest. Yeah, Ian, we can watch cute movies together.
Scariest movie that I have never watched and I still watch, it would be Paranormal. I can't do ghost stuff like that stuff. Even though the weird Blair Witch Project didn't go well for me, but those paranormal things. And if you ever really want to watch something really scary,
no.
I hate this person. No, I love you.
Me too.
There's a YouTube, and I'm crazy because I suggest other YouTube to people, but it's called Chills. That guy has the best voice, and it's Chills, and he'll go over YouTube things, and he'll kind of debunk it or ask you what you think, and some of the things I admit I've watched and I go, that's set up, and then some things I've watched and I go, I can't sleep for the next 2 nights. Like
no.
That is all for our Halloween special. And we will see you next Thursday on our Goofy Geek page, or you can find us that Tuesday or the next Tuesday on YouTube on the Goofy Geek podcast. I like to give a shout out to the Goofy Geek Boutique for our fancy cups. And I'm supposed to say all that, likes and subscribes and whatever.
Subscribe.
Just
leave a comment.
Support us.
Share.
Love
do
us.
Whatever you want.
And yes, Ian, we're going to watch the clip afterwards. I don't know if she can watch it. But
he'll watch it and let me know.
All right, guys. Again, have a good one. Happy Halloween.